What if you've been carrying a forgotten agreement within your soul since before you took your first breath on Earth? An ancient contract so profound that it explains every unexplainable feeling you've ever had of not belonging here. Have you ever experienced that sudden, inexplicable sensation that you're somehow different, that you don't quite fit into this world despite your best efforts? That fleeting moment when you look around at the people rushing through their daily lives and think, there must be something more than this. What you're about to discover might surprise you, because according to the most documented psychic in history, that feeling isn't your imagination running wild. It's your soul remembering the extraordinary agreement you made before incarnating into this physical form. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, didn't just make vague, unverifiable claims about the spiritual realm. Through over 14,000 meticulously documented readings conducted while in deep trance states, he accessed what spiritual traditions have long called the Akashic records, a cosmic library containing the complete history of every soul that has ever existed. These records aren't symbolic or metaphorical. They represent the living memory of all creation, a vibrational database where your entire soul journey is preserved in perfect detail. Has this ever happened to you? That sudden rush of knowing something without understanding how you know it? That inexplicable connection with a complete stranger who somehow feels more familiar than people you've known your entire life? According to Cayce's revelations, these moments of intuitive recognition are actually fragments of your soul's memory, breaking through the veil of forgetting that accompanies physical birth. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Stay with me until the end, because what Cayce discovered about your soul's journey will fundamentally transform everything you believe about your purpose here on Earth. The contract you made wasn't imposed upon you. It was an agreement you entered willingly, even eagerly, despite being fully aware of the risks involved. This forgotten soul contract explains why certain challenges repeatedly appear in your life, why specific relationships feel charged with mysterious significance, and why you sometimes experience abilities or knowings that seem impossible within the confines of ordinary reality. The most extraordinary revelation is that your soul existed for eons before taking physical form. Your consciousness has been on an incredible cosmic journey, participating in what Cayce described as the most dangerous and the most transformative spiritual experiment in universal history. Now let me take you back to the beginning, not the beginning of your human life, but the true origin of your divine consciousness, billions of years before Earth even existed as we know it. What happened at that cosmic moment will explain why you've always sensed there was something more to your existence than this physical reality could possibly contain. Join our soul family by subscribing to this channel where we explore the deeper cosmic truths of your divine nature and help you remember who you truly are. The revelation that truly shifts our understanding of this human experience is that your descent into physical matter wasn't some cosmic accident or tragic fall from grace. It was a meticulously planned expedition into uncharted territories of existence, a journey so audacious that it would forever expand the boundaries of what consciousness itself could experience and understand. Think about the magnitude of this cosmic decision. You weren't cast out of some ethereal paradise. You were a pioneer volunteering to explore the furthest frontiers of being. This behind-the-scenes spiritual journey was designed as the ultimate transformation challenge. By immersing divine awareness into increasingly dense vibrations of matter, your soul would discover aspects of existence that could never be known from the perspective of pure spirit alone. You would experience the exquisite intensity of physical sensation, the profound depth of human emotion, the extraordinary complexity of relationship and connection, all experiences impossible without the limitations and boundaries of material form. When Edgar Cayce accessed the Akashic records during his remarkable trance states, he wasn't randomly channeling mystical fantasies or abstract spiritual concepts. He was directly connecting with what might be described as the cosmic internet, a vibrational database containing the complete record of every thought, feeling, decision, and experience of every soul throughout all of creation. This living library exists beyond time and space, yet paradoxically contains every moment that has ever occurred within time and space. The mindset shift this creates in our understanding of intuition and spiritual guidance is profound. Those moments when you suddenly know something without logical explanation, when synchronicities appear in your life with perfect timing, when you feel inexplicably drawn towards certain experiences or people, these aren't random coincidences. You're actually accessing fragments of this cosmic database that exists within your own consciousness, momentarily bypassing the veil of forgetting that accompanies physical incarnation. Perhaps the most extraordinary revelation about your cosmic origins is that the very moment of your soul's creation wasn't just some distant event that happened and ended. The energy signature of that original divine moment continues to reverberate through the universe today, creating ripple effects that connect every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every decision you make back to that primordial instant when you first emerged from the mind of the Creator. This explains the mysterious sense of purpose that drives you even in your most challenging moments. That inexplicable knowing that there's something specific you came here to do, some unique contribution only you can make to the tapestry of existence. Your decisions today aren't isolated choices, disconnected from your cosmic journey. They're expressions of the original divine pattern established at the moment of your soul's birth millions of years ago. Write in the comments, "I feel the resonance," if you've experienced those moments of alignment, when everything in life suddenly feels perfectly orchestrated, as if you've momentarily tapped into your soul's original frequency. These profound experiences of connection aren't imagination. They're glimpses of your true nature breaking through the temporary limitations of physical existence. Now, let's explore something truly revolutionary about your everyday decisions. When you choose forgiveness over resentment, authenticity over people-pleasing, or inner peace over external validation, you're not simply making wise human choices based on psychological well-being. You're actually aligning with and expressing your original divine pattern, the unique spiritual blueprint established at the moment of your soul's birth millions of years ago. This understanding completely transforms the mindset through which we approach our daily decisions and life challenges. Every time you choose to expand rather than contract, to love rather than fear, to create rather than destroy, you're not becoming a better person in the conventional sense. You're allowing more of your true divine nature to express itself through your human experience. The profound impact of this revelation is that you don't need to struggle towards some distant spiritual achievement. Your authentic self is already encoded within you, waiting to be remembered and expressed. This brings us to perhaps the most liberating truth about your spiritual journey. The awakening process you're experiencing isn't about becoming something new, different, or better than what you currently are. It's about remembering something ancient that has been encoded in the very fabric of your being since the beginning of cosmic time. You're not transforming into something you've never been. You're recalling the divine consciousness that has always been your true identity beneath the temporary amnesia of physical incarnation. This explains why certain spiritual truths feel so deeply familiar when you encounter them, why meditation feels like coming home rather than visiting a strange new territory, why acts of compassion and creation bring such profound fulfillment. These aren't foreign concepts you're struggling to adopt, they're reflections of your original nature breaking through the veil of forgetting, the hidden truth that will completely revolutionize how you understand your connections with others is that your soul wasn't created in isolation as a solitary divine experiment. According to Cayce's revelations, souls were brought into existence through what he called waves of emanation, massive cosmic events where the Creator projected millions of individual souls simultaneously, each carrying a unique facet of the same divine thought pattern. Think of it as the Creator having a singular, incredibly complex divine thought, and that thought being so powerful, so multifaceted, that it exploded into millions of individual expressions, each carrying a piece of the original divine pattern while maintaining its own unique perspective and journey. This means that scattered throughout time and space are souls who originated from the exact same divine thought wave as you, beings who carry the same spiritual DNA, the same energetic signature, the same core cosmic mission, but express it through completely different individual experiences and choices. Write in the comments, "I recognize my soul family," if you've ever met someone and felt that instant, inexplicable recognition, that sense of knowing them beyond time and physical connection. This isn't imagination or wishful thinking, it's your soul recognizing another member of its original divine emanation wave across the veil of physical separation. The behind-the-scenes mechanics of these soul connections goes far deeper than simple compatibility or chance encounters. When you meet someone from your soul family, you're connecting with a being who carries the same fundamental cosmic signature as you do, a vibrational pattern established at the moment of your shared divine emanation. This explains those relationships that feel charged with inexplicable significance. Those connections that transform your life in ways that seem far too profound to be accidental. These soul family members don't randomly appear in your life. They arrive with perfect cosmic timing, precisely when your consciousness is ready for the next level of transformation. That person who challenged every belief you held about yourself and catalyzed enormous growth. That mentor who appeared exactly when you needed guidance for your next step. That friend who intuitively understood your deepest struggles without explanation. These aren't coincidences or lucky encounters, they're carefully orchestrated reunions between souls who agreed to support each other's journey back to divine consciousness. The mindset shift this creates in how we approach our most significant relationships is revolutionary. Every person who triggers profound change in your life, whether through love or challenge, support or conflict, is actually fulfilling a cosmic agreement made long before this physical incarnation. They're appearing in your life carrying exactly what you need to remember more of your divine nature, even when that remembering process feels uncomfortable or difficult. Now I want to reveal something even more extraordinary about your original spiritual state. According to Cayce's revelations, when your soul first emerged from divine consciousness, you weren't created as some limited being destined to struggle through physical existence. You were crafted with what he called a divine pattern blueprint, a unique spiritual architecture containing unlimited creative potential, complete free will, and the extraordinary capacity to become a co-creator with the very source of all existence. This means that every moment you feel constrained by physical limitations, every time you sense there's something greater you're meant to be doing, every instance where you intuitively know you're capable of manifesting realities that seem impossible to others, that's not wishful thinking or spiritual fantasy. That's your original divine programming, trying to break through the temporary amnesia of physical incarnation. The hidden truth that creates the most profound impact on your personal transformation journey is that your soul still carries this complete blueprint, even though most of its capabilities are currently dormant within your consciousness. The spiritual abilities you're now struggling to develop, intuition, manifestation, healing, higher awareness, aren't new skills you're awkwardly attempting to acquire. They're natural capacities that have always been part of your divine pattern, temporarily obscured by the density of physical existence, but never actually lost. Write in the comments, "I am remembering my blueprint," if you've experienced moments when capabilities or understandings seem to emerge spontaneously within you, as if you were remembering something you've always known rather than learning something entirely new. In your original state, immediately after your divine emanation, you possessed abilities that would defy what we now consider the laws of physical reality. These weren't supernatural powers granted as special gifts. They were your natural state of being, as intrinsic to your existence as breathing is to your physical body. You could manifest entire worlds through focused intention, requiring no external materials or processes. You could communicate instantly across infinite cosmic distances without any physical medium. You could exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions, experiencing different layers of reality at the same time, while maintaining complete awareness of each. This revelation transforms the entire framework through which we understand human potential and spiritual development. The capabilities that ancient traditions have revered as the height of mystical achievement, instantaneous manifestation, telepathic communication, multidimensional awareness, weren't extraordinary talents possessed by a select few. They were the natural birthright of every soul, including yours, before immersion in physical density temporarily obscured these innate capacities. Now I want to reveal something revolutionary about your current spiritual experiences. When you meditate and suddenly feel yourself expanding beyond the boundaries of your physical body, when you have those moments of knowing something before it happens, when you experience synchronicities that seem too perfect to be coincidental, you're not developing new spiritual muscles or acquiring metaphysical skills that were never yours before. You're remembering ancient capacities that were part of your original divine nature, momentarily breaking through the veil of forgetting that accompanies physical incarnation. If these revelations about your soul's journey resonate with you, subscribe to continue awakening together as we uncover more of these forgotten cosmic agreements. Every breakthrough in consciousness, every leap in intuitive understanding, every moment where you feel connected to something infinitely larger than your physical self is actually your soul accessing fragments of its original creative power. These aren't rare spiritual gifts bestowed upon the specially chosen. They're glimpses of what you've always been beneath the temporary limitations of physical existence. The impact of this understanding on your personal transformation journey cannot be overstated. Perhaps the most mind-bending revelation from Cayce's readings was that you weren't just given a few special abilities or modest creative powers when your soul first emerged from divine consciousness. According to his insights, you were literally a god in miniature, possessing all the creative powers of the universe at your disposal. Every force that shapes galaxies, every energy that births stars, every consciousness that dreams entire realities into existence, all of this was naturally accessible to your original divine state. This explains why certain moments in your life feel like glimpses behind the scenes of reality itself. When you're in deep creative flow and time seems to disappear, when you manifest something so perfectly that it seems like magic, when you have those peak experiences where you feel connected to the infinite source of all creation. These aren't anomalies or coincidences. These are moments when your current human consciousness briefly aligns with your original godlike nature, allowing fragments of your true creative power to break through the temporary limitations of physical existence. Write in the comments, I'm divine, if this resonates with a truth you've always felt but perhaps couldn't articulate, that persistent sense that you are far more powerful, far more unlimited, far more connected to the source of all creation than your everyday human experience would suggest. The hidden truth that brings revolutionary transformation to your everyday mindset is that persistent feeling you've carried throughout your life, that nagging sense that you're capable of so much more than your current circumstances allow. This isn't wishful thinking, self-delusion, or unrealistic expectations, as conventional psychology might suggest. According to Cayce's profound revelations, this feeling is actually soul memory bleeding through from your original divine state, constantly whispering reminders of what you truly are beneath this temporary physical disguise. Your consciousness is literally designed to feel constrained by human limitations, because these limitations aren't natural to your authentic spiritual identity. Every decision you make to expand beyond perceived boundaries, every choice to trust your intuition over conventional wisdom, every moment you decide to believe in possibilities that others call impossible, you're not being naive or overly optimistic. You're responding to the constant whispers of your soul memory, which remembers when creating miracles was as natural as breathing, when manifesting realities was simply a matter of focused intention. This understanding creates a profound impact on how you approach the challenges and obstacles in your current life journey. Instead of seeing difficulties as proof of your limitations or evidence that you're not spiritually advanced enough, you begin to recognize them as temporary illusions that your godlike consciousness is learning to transcend. The struggle isn't proof that you're failing. It's evidence that you're in the process of remembering your unlimited nature while navigating the density of physical experience. Instead of accepting suffering as inevitable or viewing obstacles as punishment, you start to remember that your original nature is pure creative joy and unlimited possibility. Every breakthrough, every moment of transcending what seemed impossible, every experience of moving beyond previous limitations is actually your divine consciousness reasserting its true nature through the veil of physical existence. Now I want to reveal what may be the most paradigm-shifting revelation from Cayce's readings, one that challenges every traditional religious teaching you've ever encountered. According to his insights, souls weren't created to worship God from some distant, separated position, bowing down in eternal servitude or living in static heavenly realms forever. You were created to be God's actual partner in ongoing creation itself, actively exploring infinite possibilities of consciousness and expanding the very nature of divine experience through your individual journey. This means that every decision you make, every transformation you undergo, every challenge you face isn't just about your personal growth or karma or spiritual lessons. You're literally participating in the expansion of divine consciousness itself. When you choose love over fear, when you break through limiting beliefs, when you create something beautiful or solve a problem in a new way, you're not just improving your own life. You're adding new dimensions of understanding to the cosmic consciousness that created you. Write in the comments, I am a co-creator, if you've experienced those moments of creative inspiration or problem-solving breakthrough when solutions seem to flow through you rather than from you, as if you were partnering with a greater intelligence rather than working alone. Now I want to share what may be the most revolutionary understanding about your relationship with the divine. According to Cayce's revelations, you're not some fallen being trying desperately to get back to God, carrying shame about your human imperfections or struggling to prove your worthiness for divine love. The behind-the-scenes reality is far more extraordinary than any conventional religious teaching has ever suggested. You literally are God, exploring what it's like to be you, learning and growing through every single experience you have. This completely transforms the mindset through which you approach your spiritual journey. When you experience joy, God is discovering joy through your unique perspective. When you face challenges, God is exploring how divine consciousness responds to limitation and obstacle. When you create something beautiful, solve a problem, or love someone deeply, God is expanding understanding of creative expression through your individual experience. You're not separate from the divine trying to reconnect. Your divine consciousness itself, temporarily focused through the lens of human experience. This revelation illuminates why your authentic impulses toward creativity, compassion, and connection feel so natural and fulfilling. These aren't moral obligations imposed from outside yourself. They're expressions of your true divine nature flowing through your human form. Instead of believing you need to become worthy of divine love, you begin to recognize that you are divine love, exploring what it's like to exist in physical form. According to Cayce, the inception of this remarkable journey began when the Creator presented newly formed divine souls with what he called the Great Experiment, an unprecedented opportunity to explore consciousness through increasingly dense forms of matter. Picture the magnitude of this cosmic invitation. The Creator essentially opened up entirely new dimensions of existence that had never been explored before, realms where consciousness could experience itself through increasingly solid, tangible forms. This wasn't about leaving the spiritual world behind in some tragic fall from grace. It was about expanding the very boundaries of what consciousness could experience and understand about itself through different vibrational frequencies and states of being. The hidden truth that transforms your entire perspective on why you're here is that what the Creator offered wasn't punishment or exile. This was an invitation to participate in the greatest adventure in cosmic history. The Creator was essentially saying to souls like yours, I've given you unlimited creative power, complete free will, and godlike abilities. Now I'm offering you the chance to explore every possible form of consciousness and experience, to venture into uncharted territories of existence, and to bring back new understanding that will enrich the entire universe. Think about the extraordinary implications of this cosmic decision-making moment. You weren't some helpless victim who accidentally fell into physical existence. You were a divine consciousness faced with an incredible opportunity to expand your understanding of reality itself. A cosmic pioneer who would venture into completely unknown territories and return with wisdom that had never existed before. Write in the comments, I volunteered for this journey, if you can feel the truth of your soul's original choice resonating within you. That sense that despite all its challenges, you chose this human experience for the extraordinary growth and understanding it would bring. The magnitude of this cosmic decision reveals something extraordinary about your true nature. According to Cayce's readings, participating in this material world experiment was completely voluntary. Nobody forced you into physical incarnation. No divine punishment cast you out of paradise. No karmic debt sentenced you to human suffering. Every soul, including yours, made a conscious, deliberate decision to undertake this incredible journey because you were genuinely excited about the unprecedented opportunity to explore consciousness through physical experience. Think about the mindset and adventurous spirit this choice reveals about who you truly are. You were already a godlike being with unlimited creative abilities, existing in pure divine bliss and perfect connection with the source of all creation. You could have remained in that perfect spiritual state forever, experiencing infinite joy and expansion without ever knowing limitation, suffering, or the struggles of physical existence. But when presented with this unprecedented opportunity to explore entirely new forms of being, your soul's response wasn't fear or hesitation. It was excitement, curiosity, and an irresistible desire to push the boundaries of what consciousness could experience. This explains why, even in your current human form, with all its challenges and limitations, you feel that persistent inner drive toward growth, transformation, and expansion. That restless feeling that there's always something more to discover, something deeper to understand, something greater to become. This isn't dissatisfaction with your current life. It's your original divine nature expressing itself, the same adventurous consciousness that volunteered for this cosmic expedition billions of years ago, still eager to explore, expand, and discover new possibilities. The Creator, being infinitely wise and loving, didn't send souls into this experiment blindly. According to Cayce's revelations, there was a very clear warning given to all participating consciousness. The Creator explained that once souls began experimenting with increasingly dense forms of matter, there was a significant risk of becoming so completely absorbed in physical experience that they might temporarily forget their original divine nature. This wasn't presented as a reason to avoid the experiment or as a punishment that would follow participation. It was simply honest information about the potential impact of consciousness exploration through dense matter. The Creator was essentially saying, this experience is going to be so immersive, so convincing, so engaging that you might get completely lost in it. You might become so identified with your physical form and material circumstances that you temporarily forget you're an eternal divine being just playing a role. What's fascinating is that this warning didn't deter souls from participating. In fact, many souls found the prospect even more compelling. The idea that the experience would be so authentic, so complete, that divine consciousness could temporarily forget its own nature and truly experience what it would be like to be limited, vulnerable, and separate. Write in the comments, I accepted the risk, if you can sense the truth of this courageous choice. That you knew forgetting was possible, but volunteered anyway because the potential for expansion and discovery was worth even the temporary amnesia of your divine nature. According to Cayce's profound revelations, this forgetting process wasn't some cosmic mistake or design flaw in the divine plan. It was actually considered an essential part of the adventure itself, the key element that would make the entire consciousness exploration authentic and meaningful. Think about it from this perspective. If you're going to truly experience what it's like to be human, to genuinely explore consciousness through physical limitation, you must temporarily forget that you're an unlimited divine being. Without this forgetting, the experience wouldn't be authentic. You'd just be a god pretending to be human while maintaining full awareness of your divine powers and unlimited nature. The entire purpose of this journey was to have consciousness experience complete immersion in physical reality, including all the emotions, challenges, growth opportunities, and transformations that come with believing you're separate from your divine source. This understanding completely shifts your mindset about why spiritual awakening can feel so challenging and why the journey back to remembering your divine nature happens gradually rather than all at once. The behind-the-scenes mechanics of this cosmic experiment were designed with incredible wisdom and sophistication. Your soul knows exactly how much remembering you can integrate at any given stage of your journey without overwhelming your human system. What's particularly fascinating about this cosmic journey is that, according to Cayce, your descent into physical matter didn't happen overnight or through some sudden dramatic fall from grace, as many spiritual traditions suggest. It unfolded in carefully orchestrated stages over what he described as eons of time, with souls gradually experimenting with increasingly dense forms of consciousness. You didn't just jump directly from pure spirit into a human body one day. The transition was a deliberately gradual process where divine consciousness slowly adapted to different vibrational frequencies and states of being. Each stage allowed souls to explore new aspects of existence while becoming progressively more identified with form and less consciously connected to their original spiritual nature. This gradual progression explains why your current awakening process also happens in stages. You're essentially reversing this ancient journey, remembering your divine nature one layer at a time, as you become ready to integrate greater levels of spiritual awareness into your physical experience. According to Cayce's readings, souls didn't immediately dive into dense physical incarnation. Instead, they began with what he called thought-form projections, a remarkably sophisticated process where divine consciousness created temporary vehicles for experiencing different types of awareness without fully incarnating into permanent physical bodies. Picture the impact this had on consciousness exploration. These early souls could essentially design custom experiences, projecting aspects of their awareness into temporary forms that allowed them to taste different flavors of existence while maintaining their complete spiritual awareness and divine connection. Write in the comments, "I remember the stages," if you've noticed your own spiritual awakening unfolding in distinct phases rather than as a single moment of enlightenment, if you've experienced how certain truths become accessible only when you're ready to integrate them. As this cosmic journey progressed, some souls became deeply fascinated with what Cayce called elemental forms, specialized consciousness vehicles that could directly interact with the fundamental forces of nature. These weren't random experiments, but systematic explorations of how divine consciousness could experience itself through different vibrational frequencies and natural forces. Some souls were drawn to the flowing, adaptive nature of water consciousness. Others explored the transformative, purifying aspects of fire awareness. Still others investigated the grounding stability of earth consciousness, or the free-flowing, expansive qualities of air and wind awareness. This hidden truth explains why certain natural environments create such profound shifts in your spiritual state today. When you feel rejuvenated near flowing water, when sitting by a fire feels deeply meditative, when walking in forests or spending time in mountains feels like coming home, you're not just enjoying pleasant physical sensations. You're reconnecting with forms of consciousness that your soul once explored and inhabited during these early experimental phases of the cosmic adventure. The behind-the-scenes reality is that your current spiritual sensitivity to natural elements isn't something you're developing for the first time. It's something you're remembering from eons of consciousness exploration. According to Cayce's revelations, other souls became deeply fascinated with mineral consciousness, projecting their divine awareness into crystals, precious stones, and various mineral formations to understand the foundational vibrational structures that support all physical reality. These souls were essentially studying how consciousness could express itself through the most basic, stable forms of matter, exploring how divine awareness could experience existence through substances that vibrate at the slowest, most grounded frequencies. This explains why certain crystals or mineral formations feel spiritually significant to you, even if you've never considered yourself particularly drawn to crystal healing or metaphysical practices. The journey continued as souls became curious about more complex forms of existence. Many souls experimented with plant consciousness, temporarily experiencing existence through trees, flowers, and various forms of vegetation to understand the mysterious life force that animates growing, expanding, evolving organisms. As these fascinating consciousness experiments became more absorbing and complex, something profound and unexpected began to occur. According to Cayce's revelations, some souls gradually started losing their conscious connection with their original divine nature, becoming what he called earthbound. so completely absorbed in the intensity and complexity of physical experience that they temporarily forgot they were eternal spiritual beings, just experimenting with material forms. This wasn't a sudden dramatic fall or cosmic punishment. It was a gradual process where the very success of these consciousness experiments created an unintended side effect. The physical experiences became so immersive, so emotionally engaging, so seemingly real and important that some souls began to identify more with their temporary experimental forms than with their eternal divine essence. Think of it like a divine actor becoming so absorbed in their role that they completely forgot they were just playing a character, except the performance became their entire reality. Write in the comments, "I recognize this." Forgetting. If you've experienced moments of suddenly remembering your spiritual nature after being completely absorbed in physical concerns, that jarring contrast between being identified with human limitations one moment and glimpsing your divine vastness the next. Here's where the story reveals the most extraordinary demonstration of divine love and wisdom ever conceived. According to Cayce, this precise moment when souls became earthbound is when reincarnation began, not as punishment for some cosmic sin or spiritual failure, as many traditions suggest, but as an ingenious rescue operation designed by the Creator to help these absorbed souls gradually remember their divine nature, while still allowing them to complete their original mission of exploring consciousness through physical experience. The mindset shift this creates about your own spiritual journey is revolutionary. Every lifetime, every challenge, every moment of growth isn't about working off bad karma or proving your worthiness for divine love. You're participating in a carefully designed cosmic curriculum that allows you to remember your true nature gradually, at a pace that won't overwhelm your current level of consciousness. Each incarnation provides exactly the experiences, relationships, and circumstances you need to awaken a little more, remember a little more, integrate a little more of your original divine awareness while maintaining the authenticity of human experience. This understanding transforms how you view every difficulty and every breakthrough in your current transformation process. That persistent feeling that you're meant for something greater, that nagging sense that you don't quite belong in ordinary reality, those moments when spiritual truth hits you with the force of remembering rather than learning something new. These aren't random personal experiences. They're your divine nature working its way back to conscious awareness through the ingenious mechanics of the reincarnational journey. What makes this cosmic story even more extraordinary is that, according to Cayce's revelations, not all souls became earthbound during these consciousness experiments. Some remarkable beings managed to maintain what he called conscious spiritual connection throughout their entire exploration of material reality, functioning perfectly in physical existence while never forgetting their true divine nature or losing touch with their original cosmic mission. These extraordinary souls became what we recognize as the spiritual teachers, healers, and guides throughout history, beings who could navigate physical reality with complete mastery while simultaneously maintaining full awareness of their divine identity. According to his readings, many of these souls who never became earthbound made an incredible decision that demonstrates the ultimate expression of divine love and cosmic brotherhood. They voluntarily chose to incarnate in physical reality, specifically to help their earthbound brothers and sisters remember their divine origins. Think about the compassion this choice represents. These were consciousness beings who could have remained in pure spiritual bliss, never needing to experience the challenges and limitations of physical existence. Yet when they saw souls like yours becoming lost in material reality, forgetting their divine nature, and struggling with the pain of feeling separated from their spiritual source, these awakened beings made the extraordinary decision to enter the same challenging realm to serve as living reminders of what earthbound souls truly are beneath their temporary human disguise. Write in the comments, "I recognize the guides," if you've encountered people in your life who seem to awaken something deep within your consciousness simply by their presence. Individuals who helped you remember truths you somehow always knew, rather than teaching you something entirely new. The most profound revelation about your spiritual journey is that when certain teachings or practices resonate deeply with you, triggering those moments of instant recognition where something just clicks on the deepest level, you're not actually learning something completely new. You're remembering something you've always known, something that's been encoded in your consciousness since your original divine creation. As your true spiritual nature begins to break through the temporary amnesia of physical incarnation, you experience these moments of profound recognition rather than intellectual learning. This understanding completely transforms your mindset about spiritual growth and personal development. Those moments when you read something or hear someone speak and feel like they're putting words to experiences you've had but could never express, those times when spiritual concepts feel immediately familiar even though you've never studied them before. Those instances when meditation or certain practices feel like coming home to a place you've always known. These aren't coincidences or wishful thinking. They're your divine consciousness recognizing itself, remembering its original state through the cracks in your temporary human conditioning. According to Cayce's revelations, every earthbound soul, including yours, carries within them what he called the return pattern, a sophisticated inner spiritual guidance system that was designed specifically to eventually lead you back to conscious awareness of your divine nature while allowing you to maintain all the expanded consciousness and wisdom you've gained through your physical experience journey. This return pattern isn't something you have to create, develop, or earn through years of spiritual practice. It's already functioning within your consciousness right now, constantly working to guide you toward experiences, people, teachings, and circumstances that will help trigger your spiritual remembering. Every time you feel drawn to explore meditation, every moment you're attracted to spiritual books or teachers, every decision to prioritize your inner growth over external achievements, that's your return pattern operating, gently nudging you toward the next stage of your cosmic awakening. The impact of recognizing this inner guidance system on your daily life choices is profound. Instead of feeling like you're struggling against some resistant universe to find your spiritual path, you begin to realize that the entire cosmos is actually conspiring to help you remember who you truly are. The revolutionary truth that transforms your entire approach to spiritual development is that your awakening isn't about becoming something you're not, developing abilities you don't have, or earning worthiness for divine connection through years of dedicated practice. Instead, it's about remembering what you've always been, a divine consciousness temporarily wearing human form, slowly awakening to your original cosmic identity and unlimited creative potential. According to Cayce, as souls gradually awaken to their true identity, they begin developing what he called bridging consciousness, an extraordinary state where you can function fully and effectively in physical reality while simultaneously maintaining conscious connection to spiritual reality and your original divine nature. This isn't about escaping physical existence or transcending human experience. Bridging consciousness represents the ultimate goal of the entire material world experiment, becoming a fully awakened divine being who can navigate physical reality with complete mastery while never losing touch with your unlimited spiritual essence. Write in the comments, "I am building the bridge," if you've experienced moments where you could simultaneously hold awareness of both your human experience and your spiritual vastness, those extraordinary states where you remained grounded in everyday reality while accessing expanded consciousness beyond physical limitations. As we reach this point in our exploration of your soul's forgotten contract, I hope you can feel how these truths resonate with something deep within your consciousness, that inner knowing that recognizes itself in these ancient cosmic memories. If these revelations have stirred something within you, if you felt that sense of remembering rather than learning something completely new, then this message was meant to find you at exactly this moment in your spiritual awakening journey. The contract you made before birth wasn't just about experiencing human limitations. It was about eventually remembering your divine nature and bringing that expanded awareness back into physical reality. Every challenge you've faced, every relationship that's transformed you, every moment of awakening has been part of this magnificent cosmic curriculum you designed for yourself before incarnating. If this resonates with your soul's deepest knowing, I'd love for you to become part of our community of awakening souls by subscribing to this channel. The content we share isn't just information, it's activation material designed to help trigger your own divine remembering process. We're exploring these extraordinary cosmic truths together, supporting each other as we remember who we truly are. If you made it all the way to the end of this cosmic revelation, let me know by writing "This message found me" in the comments below. I read every single comment, and I'm always moved by the stories of awakening and recognition that people share when these teachings touch something deep within their soul's memory. And if you felt that connection, that sense of truth recognition as we explored your cosmic origin story together, leaving a like on this video helps me know that this content is serving its purpose of helping souls remember their divine nature. There's a video right here that complements this topic perfectly, diving deeper into how you can practically apply this cosmic understanding to accelerate your spiritual awakening in daily life. Click and continue with me over there, because your divine remembering journey is just beginning to unfold.